Okay, what a day for a daydreaming boy. Just a few things to talk about. So last night, Shane McClanahan had himself a game. 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 10 Ks in the first game of the doubleheader against Toronto for a good 30 points. Spencer Strider also had 30 points. Atlanta beat Cincinnati 4-1. He had 6 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 11 Ks. Obviously, he gets the win, so that's good for 30. And unfortunately, Nestor Cortes, again, Yankees, he pitches 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 6 Ks, gets the win. That's 24 points. And actually, I had a couple of good ones. Paul Blackburn, 6.1 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks. Best part is he does not factor in the decision. Oakland loses to Seattle 2-1. He picked up 19 points without the win. And Ryan Helsley continues his hot streak. So he pitches 2 innings, strikes out 5 out of the 6 batters. He does walk 1. So I guess technically he actually pitched to 7. So 5 out of 7, let's say. But doesn't give up a hit. Gets the win, so that's good for 15 points. And yeah, so I had some good, decent pitching performances in that. Let's get to batters real quick. I'll switch it over. Decent day hitting. I wouldn't say it was the best by any stretch of the imagination, but decent. Jose Altuve, 3 runs, 8 total bases, an RBI with a K and a stolen base. Houston beat the Los Angeles Angels 9-1, so he gets 12 points. He had himself a pretty good game. And there's a couple other ones that I'm going to mention in just a few seconds. A few players that could be on your waiver wire that you might want to take a look at. And I believe I might have mentioned at least one of them before. But so Altuve went 3 for 4 with a solo home run, 2 doubles, obviously the 3 total runs and the stolen base. He's been playing well. Yeah, his slugging's up to about 530. On base is about 360. So his OPS is just about 900 now. So obviously he's doing pretty well there. 186 or 180, yeah, 186 total fantasy points. And the position rank, which I know I've discussed before, can be a little deceiving, but he is second in position rank. And I've been learning how to pronounce his name. So I believe it's Isaac Paredes from Mexico. He's on Tampa Bay. He's eligible at second and third base. He had quite the doubleheader last night, so he's good for 18 points total with 4 runs, 11 total bases, 5 RBIs, struck out twice. So he did play a doubleheader last night, so obviously that helped. But he's a guy that's only rostered in 33% of ESPN leagues, so a third of ESPN leagues, so he's probably available. Again, he's eligible at second and third. So he goes 4 for 10, a double, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, and 4 runs scored. He started both games of the doubleheader. He's got 13 home runs on the year, 27 RBIs. He's got 30 in just 40 games, or 13 home runs in just 40 games played. 8 of the 13 home runs have come in his last 10 games. So obviously he's not going to keep up that pace forever. But he's got 110 points already on the year. So he might be a guy you want to look at. I certainly have. I know I have Santiago Espinal right now. I'm thinking of doing a swap for Paredes, but I haven't yet, so we'll see what happens. Again, my league isn't super active, so it's not like I have to scoop any of these guys up immediately. Of course, now somebody will actually take them. But yeah, a couple of the other transactions that I did actually make. I did actually have to trade, well, not necessarily trade, but drop Gabriel Moreno. The only reason I'm doing it, really, is because he's not going to play every day, because Alejandro Kirk is just lighting it up. He's going to essentially be the starting catcher. Moreno did play in the first game of the doubleheader, and to be honest with you, I forget what his stats were because I wasn't paying any attention. Let me just check that real quick. But I dropped him for David Bednar. Bednar or Bednar? I've heard it pronounced both ways, but Bednar I'm going to go with. The closer from Pittsburgh looks like it might be their possible all-star. So Gabriel Moreno 1 for 3, so he got a point last night. He's got 21 points and 40. He's only had 43 at bats in the entire season. He's batting .302, so he's got 13 hits and 43 at bats. 3 runs scored, a double, 4 RBIs. But again, he's just not getting the at bats because he's sitting behind Alejandro Kirk. And when Kirk plays, if he DHs, they don't have a backup catcher. So it's tough to play them both at the same time. So I did have to drop him. I wanted to add some pitching, and so that's why I did that. I also dropped Nolan Gorman. I definitely believe in him. It's funny too because I dropped him and I think he had a home run right after I dropped him. But he would have been on my bench anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered. Yes, I believe he had a solo home run in their win over the Phillies. Yeah, he won 1 for 2 with a solo home run, so he had 8 points. But again, he would have been on my bench anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered. And he is available in 80% of ESPN leagues. So I do think, he is one of their top prospects. I think he's got a bright future. But I also picked up Adolis Garcia. Again, I've heard it pronounced a couple different ways, and I'm certainly going to work on these pronunciations because I do think it's super important. But Adolis Garcia has 184 total points. His position rank is 4. He's now rostered in 85% of ESPN leagues. I've seen it as low as 50. It might have even been lower than that. But he's got 485 slugging percentage. He does have an on base lower than 300, which I'm a little disappointed about. He does strike out quite a bit considering, but he does have 15 home runs, 50 RBIs, and 75 hits and 293 at bats, 47 runs scored, and again 184 total points. And he's just been playing really well. And like I said, he's rostered in 85% of ESPN leagues, or maybe I said that, I forget. 85% of ESPN leagues. So he might not be available in your league, but if he is, I would strongly consider picking him up. I know Gorman was averaging about 1.5, 1.6 when I dropped him. Garcia's averaging about 2.5, 2.6. So I felt like that was a no-brainer. And again, I added some pitching, and I didn't really need a second baseman because I have Altuve and Lindor as well. So, but then again, I didn't necessarily need a lot of outfield help as well. But now that Bryce Harper looks like he's going to be out until mid-August with a fractured thumb, I don't know if that's official yet. I do think it helps to get some outfield help. And I can also use them at utility too, so that's also a bonus. So I'm still in third. Let me just check the standings here real quick. Still in third, but I'm a ways away from second, unfortunately. But hey, it's been a lot of fun to get back into it. It's been a lot of fun to learn about a whole new field of players. I think it's hilarious that when I started the draft, I had no idea who Sandy Alcantara was and Freddie Freeman was. I think I even at the draft recap that I did in that video, I even mentioned I'll have to do some research on who Freddie Freeman is because I have no idea who Freddie Freeman is, and he's an undroppable. So that just tells you how much I need to learn about this. But yes, in third, a little over 100 behind second, and actually fourth is catching up to me. So again, pitching is really letting me down. That's my biggest, I would say my biggest weakness. My earned runs are very, very high, so are my hits. Innings pitched are actually second in the league by like 2 innings pitched, but my hits are dead last, my earned runs are dead last, my walks are last, my Ks are fourth, wins are, it looks like fourth, losses are last, and saves are tied for second to last, because obviously I only had Ryan Helsley, but I did add Bednar, which I think can help a lot. It did look like he had some lower back problems, but I do think I mean, in his last game, he pitched excellent. I think he walked the leadoff batter, but after that, he was good to go. But yeah, he's been dealing with some injuries, so it would explain why he kind of struggled in those couple games. So hopefully he's healthy and back and ready to go. And again, that does look like that's going to be Pittsburgh's lone all-star, if that's the way it turns out. Which I still don't understand why you need to pick an all-star for every team. That doesn't make any sense to me. Hockey is the same way. It doesn't make any sense to me. So you have all-star level players on other teams that aren't going to be all-stars because you have to pick an all-star for every team, even though statistically they're not as good as the other player. So that doesn't make any sense. Like, is that really helping anybody? It doesn't make any sense to me, but that's a video for another day. So yeah, so that's about it. I'll wrap it up there. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking out the channel again. Appreciate your support, and have a great holiday weekend. Thanks.